Hello Flosstube, welcome back to Bumble Stitches. My name's Nicola and this is episode 23. It's Sunday the 19th of September and it's lovely to be back with you once again to share what I've been up to with my cross stitching. You can see it's a dry day today again here in Suffolk in England. Not a lot of sun around, but it's been really warm this week. We had a cold spell and then straight into sort of like a mini summer again. So it's been all over the place with the weather. The garden doesn't know if it's coming or going, so that needs a bit of attention. Lots of things I think it needs a really good rain to sort of bring a few things back to life and make them look a bit more perky again. But I hope whatever you've been up to for the last couple of weeks, you've had a nice time and got lots of stitching done, and that your weather's been kind to you as well. So a few things that I wanted to mention at the start of this Flosstube episode. The first was a big thank you to everybody that commented on my last video when I mentioned that I had a unicorn chart, which was the la-di-da something wicked this way comes. And honestly, I was totally blown away by the amount of people that reached out to me in the comments, by email and by message, saying that they'd found the chart, and a few very, very kind and generous people who had offered to send me a copy of the chart. So thank you all so much, you're wonderful. It was never my intention for you to offer to send me the chart, but I appreciate it so much. You're all wonderful, generous people and I value you all. One lady that did reach out to me was Laurie. She's over in California and she has actually got a copy of the chart that's on its way to me as we speak, and I am so excited for it to arrive. We've been emailing back and forth and she sent me the tracking details, so I shall be stalking that in anticipation of that chart arriving so that I can get it kitted up and get it started. Because there were a few of you that already had the chart, I thought it would be quite a nice idea when it does arrive, if any of you fancy doing a little stitch along, we could stitch it together and enjoy the sort of like sort of like the run up to Halloween by stitching that chart together. So if anyone is interested in doing that, then we'll just have a little informal stitch along once my chart arrives. So thanks again, Laurie, and thank you to everyone that reached out to me about the chart. You are amazing, all of you. I'm going to have a peek down at my notes because if you're a regular viewer, you will know that I forget what I'm supposed to be talking about. The other thing I wanted, yes, that's it. The other thing I wanted to mention was the wooden pumpkin. I showed you the wooden pumpkin that I bought in Hobbycraft on my last Flosstube and showed you 3 charts that were contenders to be stitched and finished on that piece. And you all, I think it was quite an even spread really, mostly between the Harvest Blessings and the other one was the one with the pumpkins on, the Little House Needleworks one. I can't remember the name of the chart now, but you'll see a bit later in the episode which one I plumped for and have made a start on, so I'll share that with you all later on. But that was fun to hear all your suggestions, and of course all your comments are always, I read every one. I seldom get a chance to go back and reply, but I love to hear your comments on the videos, and you are all very kind and very generous with the comments that you write and take time to write on my videos. So thank you, and thank you all for subscribing. Okay, I had a little bit of happy mail came through. I say a little bit, I had an item of happy mail. No matter the size, it really is the thought that counts. And I received this beautiful card, which I think is gorgeous, with the lovely, I think those are ranunculus, those flowers on the musical score there. And that was a card from Andrea, and this came all the way from the States, and Andrea was a giveaway winner and took the time to send me this beautiful thank you card. So Andrea, thank you so much. I think it was the Santa Baby chart that you won, and I'm really pleased that you enjoyed it, and it's very touching to receive such a pretty card, so thank you for that. And What else did I want to talk to you about before we get into the main stitchy part? Oh, just a quick hello and get well soon to my lovely Auntie Angela, who is currently in hospital. She's got a bit of a health hiccup at the moment and she is in hospital, but I know that she watches, so I want to send her all my love and hope that you are back home and feeling much better soon. Okay, shall we talk about some stitching now? I've got a few whips to share with you. I've got not a stitchy but a finished object to show you. That's a sewing finished object. A couple of new starts as well. So I'm going to start sharing those with you now. Shall I start with my finished item? It's actually the project bag that I mentioned last episode, and it's all finished. It took a little while because I kept getting interrupted. Life happened. I was working yesterday as well, so I had a bit of a short weekend, but I did manage to get it finished. So this is my Halloween stitching bag, and I've used the Urban Chicks Kitty Corn fabric line from Moda, and it was these gorgeous little vintage cats on the pumpkins that really drew me to this, and the fabric on the back as well, because it's got these tiny cute little spiders. I can't believe I'm saying spiders are cute. I really don't like spiders, but these are cute ones. So pretty. And this actually reminds me, when I was young, quite a while ago, I can remember having bed linen that was not too dissimilar to this. It was by a company called Dorma, and I don't know if it's an international company or if it was just a UK sort of company, but if anyone remembers having a duvet cover quite similar to this, yeah, that's what it reminds me of. So it's got that sort of 70s vibe to it. But yeah, I used my my little method of doing the patchwork front, which I've got a video of, which you're probably all aware of. If you're not, if you look back on my videos, it's down as patchwork bag tutorial. And I've lined this with just some black and white gingham inside, and this is ready now for, I'm going to pop in here my Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee by Brenda Gervais, because the colours are just perfect, and I have all my flossies ready, and I just think it's a really nice Halloween stitching bag, so I hope you like seeing that. I also mentioned on my last video about making project bags to sell, and would anybody be interested. Again, thank you all for your comments and emails and messages. I was quite taken aback with how many of you would be interested in buying a bag. So I've definitely got plans to make some bags in the very near future, and I'll give you more news once I've actually got them sort of underway. I need to figure out styles, pricing, schedules, that kind of thing, and have a look out for some nice fabrics to make them from. So, but your enthusiasm was quite overwhelming, so thank you for that. I'm going to put Halloween Jubilee, Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee straight into my little Halloween bag and zip it up ready. And I'll just pop that to one side down there. I'm going to go through some whips now, and some of these you've seen before, and a couple are I've got an oldie goldie in here which I have resurrected for Sample of September. But first of all, let's have a little bit of an update on in my strawberry bag is my Caterpillar cross stitch Hello Sunshine stitch along, and I've been stitching on this. This is my lunchtime stitching while I'm at work. I take it along with me in my bag, and every day put a bit of work into it. And as you can see, I'm creeping up here, got the dragonfly done and some of the leaves here, just working on this section here, which is section 3 out of the total of 5 parts. And it occurred to me to have a little bit of a chat about stitch alongs, because as I said, I'm on section 3 out of 5, and section 5 is due out very, very soon. And I've seen lots of beautiful Hello Sunshine projects on Instagram, stitches that are all caught up and ready for the next part, which is amazing. But I just wanted to mention on this week's Flosstube that joining a stitch along should never be a stress or a commitment or a pressure on you as a stitcher. I touched last time on my Flosstube about not stressing out about if a project isn't working for you. As we all know, and many of you commented, that our hobby time is precious and everything you do should be a joy and never a chore. And stitch alongs, I think, can sometimes make people feel a little bit panicked that they haven't kept up to date with a stitch along, or panic that they're not going to catch up and that they shouldn't join if they can't keep up with the pace. We all stitch at different paces. Some people can whiz through. I know some of the people that stitch in hand tends to be a quicker method and they sort of whiz through things, and some are more like me and just plod along with your project but enjoy it. So I just thought it was worth mentioning that you should never feel pressured to keep up with anything, and you should never let that put you off starting a project if it's a stitch along. I think just as long as you enjoy what you're stitching and you get there in the end, is absolutely just the right thing for you to do. So I will get to the finish of this in my own time, and I look forward to seeing it all done, because it is such a pretty and inspiring project with all those lovely summer colours. So that's enough of me preaching about stitch alongs and not getting stressed out. So I'm going to pop this one away, and as I said, this will go back into my work bag so that I can put a few more stitches on tomorrow lunchtime, because it's already Sunday afternoon. Okay, I mentioned that in honour of Sampler September, I have resurrected an old whip. It's in one of my lovely Sue bags. And in here I have got Barbara Anna Designs All Creatures Great and Small. And I will show you my progress. I'm just going to get everything out so that I can share that with you. And I'll try and find the front page. My pattern is in a bit of a jumble here. But let me just show you the image first of all. So it's this one here, Barbara Anna Designs All Creatures Great and Small. That's reflecting a little bit, isn't it? Oh, not reflecting, it's gone a bit transparent. So as you can see, perfect for Sampler September, and I love all the animals on this. It really is an enjoyable stitch. I started this a long time ago and it went sort of by the wayside, as it whips can do quite easily. So let's show you the actual stitching. And I'm stitching this on a piece of 32 count Zweigart Murano that I hand dyed myself. And while I was ironing this piece this morning, it occurred to me, I think I had a conversation on a previous video about how all the talented folk out there that dye fabric are really talented, because I don't think it is anywhere near as easy as they make it look. And as I was ironing this, I thought it looks a little bit like one of those ink spot tests. I think they're called Rorschach tests, where you have to tell a therapist what you can see in the ink spots. So I don't know quite what they would make of my hand dyed fabric, but I think once it's stitched on, it'll be absolutely fine. So as you can see, I mean, you won't know what it was like before, because I haven't shown it for a while, although it was on my whip parade. I've continued on with the border down and around the corner. Then I got a bit fed up with the border, so I started back up on the main part of the sampler and worked the bee, this lovely tulip, the basket of flowers, and a tiny piglet here, and a bit of a pig's bottom. And that's not a phrase I thought I'd ever be saying on a cross stitch video, but there it is. So really enjoying picking this one up again, and I think I'm going to keep it in my stitching basket in the lounge to try and get a motif. Even if I get a motif done a week, it will, you know, progress is progress, and while it's sitting in the whip basket in my sewing room, it's getting no progress. So I thought it would be nice to do that. I'm using, the pattern actually calls for anchor threads, but I'm using all the DMC equivalents. She does give you equivalents for the DMC, so I've got all of those here. And yeah, I've really enjoyed revisiting this one. I don't know if I mentioned, I dyed the fabric using walnut crystals that you can buy quite readily and quite cheaply if you fancy having a go. I think I bought mine on eBay, and they're literally like about £2 for a little sachet. So yeah, really pleased with that one. I've been a bit flighty with my stitching though in the past couple of weeks. As you'll see, there's been quite a lot of different projects that I've been working on. The next whip is in another one of my lovely Sue bags, and you can see it peeping there. It's Spell of the Moon by Blackbird Designs. I'm stitching this along with my lovely friend Paula of the Snail Garden on Instagram and Eva Faith on Etsy. I just popped this on the board so you can see my progress. Sorry about the ring. I did iron these this morning and then put them back in the bags, and they've got crumpled again. So you can see I've got a bit more progress here. Completed the border, done the outline of the tree. So I'll be moving next into doing some filling on the tree trunk, and there is a little haunted house and an urn of spooky flowers, I guess. Let me just show you the pattern if you're not familiar with it. It's from the Blackbird Designs Winds of Autumn booklet that came out last year. I think this is still readily available. It has some beautiful designs in, and it's this one here, Spell of the Moon. So you can see here's the little haunted house and the little spooky flowers. So I'm looking forward to getting that one finished, and I think Paula's making good progress on hers as well. And I think once I'm done with Spell of the Moon, I think I might move on to this one, October 31st, which is a beautiful, I don't know if it's actually just a short drum or if it's just a pin cushion. I think it's like a, yeah, it's like a short drum. So that will be interesting to finish that one. So that's coming along really nicely. And speaking of my friend Paula, we were chatting during the week, as we often do, and she had a rather fabulous idea, which excited me no end because I received her message at lunchtime at work. Excuse me, my hair seems to be shedding. And she had a fabulous idea, as I said, about doing an advent swap between us of stitching and sewing related items, sort of from our stash or things that we make, something like that. So I'm really excited about that. It's such an inspired idea, Paula. I know lots of people do swap sort of like yarn advent calendars with each other, because whilst they're beautiful, the ones that you can buy, they are quite expensive, and we thought, Paula thought it'd be a really good way of still getting the excitement of a little advent parcel every day without the huge outlay. So yeah, my head's spinning with all the things that I can put in that little advent swap, and I thought it'd be nice to mention here in case any of you fancy doing the same with your stitchy friends. You could, you know, anything, a skein of floss for one day, I don't know, some needles, some buttons, piece of fabric, anything. It's, the possibilities are endless, but I thought what a really nice idea. So as I said, my head is now spinning with ideas of what to put in our advent calendar swap. Right, I shall pop that down. The next thing, just flipping over the page in my notebook, are two new starts, and they're both very exciting. The first one is in my gingham project bag from Fat Quarter Shop, which was a gift from Fat Quarter Shop. And in here I have got the brand new stitch along from Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and this is the Lucky Nutcracker stitch along. It started on Friday, just gone, on the 17th, and it's a 6-part stitch along with each part being released fortnightly. Made a bit of hard work of that, didn't I? So yeah, 6 parts released every fortnight for the Lucky Nutcracker. So let me put my progress on the board. I did start on Friday night. Okay, and here is my progress. My fabric is not performing well in this light. The camera's having a little bit of a wobble there. I must point out I have actually changed the fabric on mine. The fabric does, the kit rather, the Lucky Nutcracker kit does come with either 14, 16 or 28 count white Zweigart fabric. But as soon as I saw part 1 of the pattern, I remembered that I had this Zweigart, and you can't see it, you can just about, is the light picking it up here? It's an opalescent, sparkly 32 count linen. Again, it's a Zweigart fabric, and I thought it would just look so pretty on here. So I have swapped the fabric out, and I've made a start on part 1, which is the Christmas tree with presents underneath, which is obviously the central sort of feature of the Nutcracker tail. And my resplendent Nutcracker needle minder sitting here, I think he's just one of the nicest needle minders that I've seen. He's so special, and I've just had such fun Friday night and last night doing a bit of stitching on this project. I'll show you the flosses. I can't show you the pattern obviously because it is a mystery stitch along, and the part that's been released, the first part, is just the chart. So but it is a Christmas tree with the prezzies underneath, and hopefully by the next Flosstube video I'll have part 1 done. Okay, so here are my flosses, and I've put them onto floss drops, but I found some Christmas gift tags and I just used them as floss drops. So I thought they'd be really, really cute. I've just got some little ho-ho-ho ones here, and this sort of little elf outfit. These are all DMC threads, and you can see how beautiful those colours are, and I thought they worked really, really well. If I just move that across and put that on there like that, you can see how lovely they work with the fabric. And the progress that I've seen on Instagram so far is phenomenal. People have got part 1 stitched. Just going back to my previous conversation about those speedy stitches out there. It's probably not so much the speed, it's probably the fact they don't get distracted quite as much as I do. But yes, it is a stunning part 1, and I'm equally looking forward to the other parts as they are released. And if you want to join in with this stitch along, it isn't too late. It's only just started, and as I said, you don't have to worry about keeping up, catching up or anything like that. If you like it and when you want to go for it, you're the rule of what you stitch on and how you stitch it and when you stitch it. So just go for it. I'll pop the link down in the description box below so that you can see where you can sign up if you wanted to do that. So that's my Lucky Nutcracker. It does seem strange though to be stitching Halloween and Christmas all at the same time, but then I suppose you only have to walk into a shop at this time of the year, and in our local shop you can buy hot cross buns, you can buy mince pies, you can buy Halloween stuff. It's all in there. The seasons seem to have just descended into one big mishmash. So it's not something to worry about, is it? So pop him back in there for some stitching later on. And the last project that I wanted to share with you today is the project that I've decided to start for the wooden pumpkin. And again, it's in one of my lovely Sue bags, and you can see, can't you, which I went for. So I decided to go for Harvest Blessings by Brenda Gervais, and I'll show you my progress and my flosses and the chart. Okay, so this is the one I went for, Harvest Blessings by Brenda Gervais. I think it's actually called Celebrate Harvest, the chart itself. Forgive me for being a bit of a tease with this, because I may be wrong. It might be available on Brenda Gervais' website, and I know sadly she doesn't ship internationally anymore, but for you stitchers in the US, it might be worth checking out her website. But I think it may have been exclusive to the Women of the Mayflower chart. It came as a bonus chart in there, so but it's definitely worth checking out, and maybe it'll pop up on stash destash pages, or you know what I mean, people might be sort of passing them on. But here it is. I think it's absolutely stunning, and I have made a start, and I bought this piece of vintage country mocha fabric for my Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee. It's a fat quarter, but I couldn't wait to get started on this, so I started in the corner, and I think I might have enough space, well I will have enough space to get at least a few of the Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee patterns on here as well. So you can see we've got H blessings at the moment, and the little chicken there, but I love the font and really enjoyed stitching or making a start on this. And it's not a huge chart, so I'm hoping to be able to get something finished this autumn. The threads, the called for threads are actually well, there's a bit of everything. There's DMC, Weeks Dye Works, Classic Colourworks and Gentle Arts. So I just had a good old rummage in my floss stash, which isn't vast, but it's amazing what you have got when you have a little rummage through. And I've got a combination of, I've got DMC in here, I've got some Anchor, Weeks, Gentle Arts and a Classic Colourworks, and I just went through and picked out what I thought was closest to the photo representation, and they all work really, really nicely on the, I'm sorry the colours are not really true, that's, yeah, that's more like it. They work really well on the vintage country mocha. So, and thank you to the lady that commented on my saying about my pronunciation of mocha on the last video, saying that it's so tempting to say mocha. Yeah, that did make me smile. I can't remember who your name, I do apologise, who commented, but it did make me smile. So I think that's going to look really, really cute when it's all done and on the pumpkin. And I've left the fabric whole because I just want to make sure I've got enough space, and then I'll cut around it, and then I can figure out the best way to sort of format the stitching for Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee on there. So I've got quite a lot going on stitching wise, as you can see, but it's all good fun. Every single one of my projects I'm really enjoying. I just wish I had extra pairs of hands or extra hours. So if anyone knows a way that I can do that, then please let me know, because it would be so nice to just have some more, get some more stitching done. That would be lovely. Right, so I'll pop this one down. I'm going to move on now to the giveaway from last episode. I'm just going to have a very quick sip of my drink. And I had two prizes to give away last video, and they were the beautiful Granita cross stitch pattern, which was a gift from Fat Quarter Shop, from Kimberly and her team, so a big thank you to them for their generosity. And Granita, as I mentioned before, they offer different colourways there. It doesn't take up too many colours of thread, so not too expensive to stitch up. And I asked you to mention the word Granita in your comments. And the winner of the Granita chart is Nanette Harris. So congratulations, Nanette. If you can contact me via email, which is in the description box below, and let me have your postal address, I will get Granita off in the post to you really soon. And the other prize that I had was, again, a gift to the Bumble Stitches Flosstube channel from Coffee Craft Fabrics, and they are on Facebook. There's a Facebook group, so there you are, and that's where you can find her beautiful fabrics. And this is a piece of 28 count even weave, and I asked you to use the word lilac, and you guys were all raving about this fabric. It is so pretty, and quite rightly you mentioned it would be fabulous for Halloween projects. So without further ado, the winner of the beautiful lilac fabric is Karen Ross. So congratulations, Karen. If you can do the same as Nanette, if you can contact me via email, which you find down below in the description box, and I'll get this out in the post to you really, really soon. So wonderful giveaways. I'm really pleased for the winners. It's so nice to be able to share some things with you all. I don't have much haul to share with you, and quite rightly so, because I have got so much stuff to be working on at the moment. I really don't need to be getting any more haul. There's a couple of things I just wanted to share with you though. Just two things. Oh, and one of them's quite heavy. I was thinking about dates for various things, and plans, stitchy plans and sewing plans and bag making plans and all those kind of things. And whilst I use a notebook for my show notes, I thought it'd be nice to have somewhere to put all those plans down and schedule myself in an effort to try and be a little bit more organised. So I had a little look on Amazon at some planners, and Justin said, send me the link, I'll treat you to that, I'll help you get organised. And I bought this, or he bought me this lovely planner, which is ideal because it's 2021 to 22. I think this one starts in August, so I've missed a month, but that's fine because at least I've got it now to plan right through to the end of next year. And you can see the design is gorgeous. It goes, the band is still on it, it goes all the way around, and this is like a fabric cover with the date and the elasticated closure here, which is really handy, especially if you want to pop any other little bits and pieces in there. I know this is not a stationary video, but I just thought it was so pretty that I would share it with you. And I will try and pop a link down below. I don't know if it's available Amazon everywhere, but I would imagine if it's available here in the UK that it will be available from Amazon anywhere. But what I particularly liked about it was the, if I can find one, at the beginning of each month you get these lovely floral pages, and it has sort of like a month schedule there, which is nice for jotting things down. And then right at the back there is some little sticker pages here, so you can decorate your planner with some stickers and stuff. And I know this is a slippery slope because I've seen all the wonderful stickers that Stitchers have in their book of days, and I can see exactly where this is going, and I would like to get a book of days for next year. I'm not sure if they're available yet, but I thought this would be a really good way for me to try and sort of wrangle some of my thoughts that go around in my head and get them down on paper, and I thought I'd share it all with you. Really inexpensive and such a pretty planner. The other thing that arrived in the post this week, or since I saw you last, was the final part of my Nebula block of the month quilt materials. Couldn't think of the word. Quilt kit, block of the month, you know what I mean. And it's this big old hefty bundle of fabric, which is the finishing kit. I didn't opt for the backing on this particular one because it was knocking the cost of it way up there. But obviously I need the finishing kit because this is all sort of like your background. If you're not familiar, this is what the Nebula quilt looks like. And it's way out of my comfort zone for colours, but there's something about it that I was really drawn to. So this is the pattern, And if I can take it out of the plastic, actually I'm not going to take it out because it's all sealed and it's all tidy, but you can see all these lovely tulip pink fabrics that are in here to complete that. So that's quite a hefty old bundle. I was surprised when that arrived and I opened it. Didn't imagine that the finishing kit was so big, but there you are. And yes, I haven't even started my nebula quilt yet, but as I mentioned quite a while ago, it doesn't eat anything, it doesn't need looking after. Fabric will sit quite nicely and look after itself in my sewing room until I'm ready for it. So that probably brings me to the end of today's video, quite a short one. I'm getting really hot in here, actually my glasses are steaming up. So I hope that you've enjoyed spending a little bit of time with me today, and I will see you again in 2 weeks. I've got some plans for stitching. Obviously I'm going to try and complete part 1 of my Lucky Nutcracker because I'm just dying to see how that Christmas tree looks when it's finished. Complete my Spell of the Moon if I can, because I'd like to get that ready for Halloween. And I would like to, I'm just checking because I did write down before I start in my planner, I've jotted a few notes here. I would like to get started on Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee. So I'm going to go before I get completely overheated in here, and I hope you have a lovely couple of weeks until I see you again. So take care and I'll see you then. Bye.